Welcome back to the morning news. It's time for Owning Your Outdoors, and with the weather forecast for the weekend, I thought it might be a good idea to ask Doug Schroeder, our yard and garden expert, what we can do to protect our plants from more rain than we probably want to have. Doug?
Way too much, Sean. Wish it wasn't going to happen. But there are a number of things we can do to get ready for this little deluge that we're going to have. If you're doing your planters, what I recommend is always pick a planter that has good drainage in the bottom of the hole. And then the most important thing for any planter when you put it together is use a good potting soil. You need good drainage, so make sure that we have holes. If you buy a planter, sometimes they don't have a hole. Sometimes you'll need to drill them or to punch them out.
This
one has. Make sure before you start anything that we have the caps taken off and a hole drilled.
Go ahead.
And Sean, something else I really recommend is, especially if you have a tall planter, put some rock in the bottom of it. It allows some more drainage and also gives your pot a little stability for the high winds we might be having this weekend also.
That's true. All right, so let's talk about plants that may not be in planters but are actually in the ground.
In your garden, most important for plants to grow and for our clay soils to have a little more drainage is use organic material. I suggest basic cow manure or sphagnum peat moss is a great additive to a garden just to give it a little more loamy feel. And you won't have the pooling of water like you do in our clay soils if you do that. Sean, I think it's important to realize that the effects of too much water on the plant are the same as not having enough water.
I was wondering about that because how do you tell if the plants had too much?
A plant will start wilting. The same thing as if it's out in the sun and has not been watered. The root system needs a balance of water and oxygen at the root system. If you go one way or the other too much, it will wilt.
So we run into the problem that we go outside, we look at the plant, we think, oh, it's wilting, and we throw more water in there.
Yes, and you're doing the absolute wrong thing. Just let things dry out and things will get back to normal. Let the plant recuperate and let Mother Nature take its course.
Perfect. All right, well, it's time to go home and start drilling some holes into the bottom of our planters, I guess.
Thanks, Sean.
Hopefully we'll get a little more sun next week.
Please.
All right, thanks, Doug Schroeder from Lewis. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.